On the 29th of October, while eyes on Earth were blinded by the sun, we had a spy in the darkness. Two spies, actually. The Curiosity rover, located in Gale Crater, and the Perseverance rover, exploring the Jezero crater on the surface of Mars. These billion-dollar machines are the eyes of humanity. They never blink. They never sleep. They record everything until they didn't. At 1400 hours Universal Time, exactly 18 minutes before the interstellar object 3I Atlas made its closest approach to the red planet, both rovers went silent. NASA's official statement was brief. They called it a pre-scheduled communication maintenance window involving the Deep Space Network. They claimed that a misalignment of the receiving dish in Canberra, Australia, forced a temporary blackout of data coming from Mars. They apologized for the gap in the public feed and promised that all raw images would be uploaded within 24 hours. 24 hours passed, then 48. When the feed finally came back online, thousands of images flooded the servers. Pictures of rocks, pictures of dust, pictures of the empty Martian horizon. But there was a gap. If you go to the JPL raw image database right now and look at the Sol sequence, the numbering of the Martian days, you will see it. There is a sequence of file IDs missing. 412 photos that should be there but aren't. The file numbers jump. It goes from image 984 to image 1396. Where are the missing photos? What happened during that blackout? And why did the maintenance happen at the exact precise second that 3I Atlas was visible in the Martian sky? This is not a glitch. This is a quarantine. To understand what they are hiding, we have to understand geometry. From Earth, 3I Atlas was hidden by the glare of the sun. We were blind. But Mars had a perfect front row seat. From the surface of Mars, the object would have appeared against the dark backdrop of deep space, illuminated from the side by the sun. It was the perfect angle to see the texture, the shape, and the structure of the visitor.
By using
3I
ESO
Atlas was
telescopes
just a
and other
comet,
facilities,
there would be no need to
astronomers
cut the
often
feed.
glance into faraway
NASA
planetary
loves
systems
comets.
to gather
They
clues
would have
about them.
live streamed it.
But on
They would
rare
have turned it
occasions,
into a PR
scientists
victory.
get to study these
Look at our
distant
rovers
systems
capturing
by
a
looking
comet.
much closer to home.
It would be on
When
every
visitors
news
from
channel.
other corners of
The
our
fact that they
galaxy
pulled the plug
drop by
suggests
our
that
solar
what the
system.
cameras saw was not a comet.
Meet the first
Let's talk about
interstellar
the Phobos
visitors.
shadow. This is a piece of data that amateur astronomers have been
1I
analyzing
Oumuamua
from a
and
few
2I
frames that slipped
Borisov
through
made
before the
headlines
blackout.
as they streaked through our
Phobos
solar
is
system.
one of Mars's
By
moons.
determining their
It's
orbits,
small,
astronomers
lumpy,
found that these
essentially
objects
a
came from
captured
stellar
asteroid.
systems elsewhere in
As
the Milky
3I
Way.
Atlas passed,
Many
it
wondered just
momentarily
what these
occulted
mysterious
or
space
blocked
rocks
the
were
light
and where
reflecting off
exactly
Phobos.
they had come from.
Based on the duration of that shadow,
The first of these interstellar visitors, Oumuamua, was discovered in October 2017 by astronomers in Hawaii when it was 33 million kilometers from Earth and already heading away
something
from the
nearly
Sun.
50 kilometers long.
Observations with
A
ESO's
natural
Very Large
object that
Telescope in
size
Chile
doesn't
and
just sneak
other
into the solar
observatories around
system.
the world
And a natural
revealed
object
Oumuamua's
that size
peculiar
doesn't
shape.
have perfect
Astronomers found it to
right-angled
be a
geometry.
dark, reddish,
Leaks
highly
from
elongated
inside the
object,
Jet
at least
Propulsion
400
Laboratory.
meters long.
And we have to treat these as rumors.
By tracing
but
its path and
consistent
speed,
rumors
scientists
suggest that the
determined
first few
that
thumbnails
Oumuamua
that
came from
arrived
roughly the
before the
direction of
blackout
Vega in the
showed a
Lyra
specular
constellation.
reflection.
This
In
implies
photography,
that this
a
unique
specular
object
reflection
has been
is a
traveling through
mirror-like
space
flash
for
of
at
light.
least
It
half a
happens
million
when light
years,
hits
and
a
probably
smooth,
longer.
polished surface like glass,
Astronomers
water, or
first
metal.
suspected
Rocks
Oumuamua to
do
be a
not
comet,
create
but they
specular
quickly
reflections.
realized it had
Ice
failed to develop
but
a
only if it
coma
is
as it
perfectly
approached
flat
the
sheets
Sun,
of ice.
suggesting that it
Comets
could
are
be
rough.
an
They are
interstellar
dirty
asteroid
snowballs.
instead.
They scatter
But
light.
looking in more
They don't
detail,
reflect it like a mirror.
additional observations,
If
including
curiosity
those with
captured a glint
ESO's
of polished metal in the
VLT,
sky,
indicated that
it is the
Oumuamua
single
did have
most
some
dangerous
cometary
photograph
properties,
in human
making
history.
the exact nature
It
of this
proves that the
peculiar
object
visitor
is
a
manufactured.
mystery to this day.
Imagine the scene in the control room at JPL.
Oumuamua truly
The
is a
images are
strange
coming
messenger
line
from
by
afar.
line.
It
The
is
scientists are
completely
expecting
different
a
from
fuzzy
any other
blob.
object astronomers have
Instead,
seen.
they see a hard metallic
2
line
years
cutting
after the
across
first
stars.
interstellar
They
visitor
see a
flew through our
reflection
solar
so
system,
bright it
another
saturates the
interloper
camera
was
sensor.
discovered by
They
amateur
realize
astronomer
in that split
Gennady
second that the
Borisov
narrative
at his
of "It's
observatory in
just rock"
Crimea.
is dead.
After searching for
What do you do?
asteroids and comets for
Do
over
you
a
release
decade,
the photo and
Borisov
cause
struck
global
gold.
panic?
In
Do you
August
tell the world that an
2019,
alien
he spied a
megastructure
foreign
is
comet
orbiting
speeding
Mars?
through our
Or do you
solar
pull the
system
plug?
at
Do you simulate the
175,000
communication
kilometers
error?
per hour.
Do you delete the files from
After
the buffer
measuring
and
its
scrub the
orbit,
servers?
astronomers
History
found that this
tells
new
us the
visitor,
answer.
named
Governments
2I
do not
Borisov,
share
came from
information that
another star
destabilizes
system,
their power.
though not the same one as
Nothing
Oumuamua.
destabilizes
And
power
contrary to the
like
first
the
interstellar
revelation that we
visitor,
are not the owners
2I
of the
Borisov
solar
looks
system.
much like a normal
There's
comet,
another
with a
possibility,
cloud of gas
one that is
and
even
dust
more
and
disturbing
even a
than
short
flyby.
tail.
We assume
Over the following
3I
months,
Atlas was just
astronomers
passing through,
aimed
but
ESO's
look at the
VLT and
trajectory
other
changes we
telescopes
discussed
at
in
the
the previous
object,
video.
searching
It
for
slowed
clues
down
about
near
what the
Mars.
alien visitor
Why?
was made of.
What if it wasn't just
They
looking?
found its chemical
What if it
composition
dropped
to be
something?
very similar to
In
that of
military
comets in our own solar
reconnaissance,
system.
a drop pod is a
Astronomers
small
hope
sensor
to find
package
some
deployed
differences
from
in the
a
amount of
mothership to
certain
remain
chemicals,
behind in enemy
providing
territory.
them with the interstellar
If 3I
signatures
Atlas is a
of
probe,
2I
it might have
Borisov's
deployed
parent system.
subprobes. Small,
Using
silent,
ALMA,
passive monitors
astronomers
that
discovered
are now
very
sitting in
large
orbit
amounts of
around
carbon
Mars,
monoxide
or
coming
perhaps
out of the
resting on the
comet.
surface.
This indicates it
Perseverance
probably
rover is
formed in a
equipped
very
with
cold
microphones.
environment.
It listens to
We
the
don't
wind
know
on
which
Mars.
star 2I
During
Borisov
the
came
blackout
from,
window just
but
before the
the
cut,
observations
the
of the
audio
object
sensors
so
picked up a
far
low
suggest that the
frequency
star
hum.
has been making comets
It
in a
wasn't the
way
wind.
similar to the
It wasn't
Sun.
the rover's own wheels.
Astronomers have learned
was
a
a
lot by
vibration in
studying
the
these
thin
first
Martian
interstellar
atmosphere,
visitors,
rhythmic
but still,
and
a
mechanical.
lot of questions remain.
Was that the sound of the object's
ESO's
propulsion
telescopes
drive
are ready
resonating
to observe
through the
future
atmosphere?
visitors to the solar
Or
system
was it
in
the
great
sound of something
detail,
entering
enabling
the atmosphere? If there are artifacts on Mars now, fresh artifacts dropped by this visitor, then the race is on. Suddenly, the desperate push by various nations to get humans to Mars makes a lot more sense. Why the rush? Why the sudden urgency to build colonies, to send starships, to establish a base? Maybe it's not about exploration anymore. Maybe it's a recovery mission. If there is alien technology sitting in the red dust of Jezero Crater, whoever gets there first controls the future of the human species. It's no longer a scientific mission. It's a salvage operation. But let's step back from the immediate panic and look at the long game. Why would they hide this? Why is secrecy the default setting for space agencies? It comes down to the Brookings Report. In 1960, NASA commissioned a study to predict the impact of discovering extraterrestrial life. The report concluded that society might disintegrate. It warned that religious institutions, political systems, and the psychological stability of the general population would collapse if we were suddenly confronted with a superior intelligence. That report was written 60 years ago, but the mindset hasn't changed. The people in charge believe you cannot handle the truth. They believe that if you knew a 50-kilometer-long spacecraft just scanned our planet and dropped probes on Mars, you would stop going to work. You would stop paying taxes. You would panic. So they give you the safe version. They give you the comet. They give you the ice and the dust. They give you the glitch. Sorry, the antenna was broken. Sorry, the server crashed. It is a comforting lie. It keeps the stock market stable. It keeps the world turning. But the cracks in the wall are getting bigger. You cannot hide an object this big forever. You cannot delete 400 photos and expect the internet sleuths not to notice. We are living in an age of information. We can track the position of satellites. We can decode raw radio data. We can analyze the shadows on moon craters. The Mars cover-up regarding 3I Atlas is clumsy. It feels rushed. It feels like a panic reaction. And that is what should worry you the most. If they were prepared for this, the cover-up would be seamless. The fact that it was messy, the sudden blackout, the missing file numbers, tells us that they were surprised too. NASA didn't know this was coming. They saw the metal hull at the same moment we would have. And they panicked. Now the rovers are back online. The feed has resumed. The pictures show the usual red rocks and gray sky. Everything looks normal, but is it? Look closely at the new photos from Perseverance. Look at the horizon. The dust levels in the atmosphere have increased by 300% in the last week. A global dust storm is starting. Dust storms on Mars are common, yes, but they are also convenient. A dust storm hides things. It obscures the view from orbit. It covers up tracks. If something landed, the best way to hide it is to bury it in sand. And if the weather on Mars suddenly turned hostile exactly after the visitor passed, well, we have to ask if that is a coincidence too. We are often told that the universe is vast and we are small. We are told that the distances are too great for anyone to visit us. That is the quarantine mentality. We like to think we are safe in our isolation, but 3I Atlas has shattered that safety. It has proven that the distance is bridgeable. And what happened on Mars proves that our governments will not tell us when the visitors arrive. They will turn off the cameras. They will pull the plug. They will leave us in the dark, staring at a connection-lost screen while history is being made millions of miles away. The files from Sol 1396 are gone. We will likely never see them, but we know they existed. And the fact that they were deleted is an answer in itself. You don't delete pictures of rocks. You don't delete pictures of dust. You delete pictures of things that shouldn't be there. As we wait for more information, keep an eye on the Mars missions. Watch where they go next. If Perseverance suddenly changes course, if it starts driving toward a boring sector of the crater for no apparent scientific reason, watch that sector. Watch where the money goes. Watch where the silence is. The visitor has left, but the footprint remains. Mars is no longer just a planet. It is a crime scene, and the evidence is waiting to be found. We have to accept that we are now living in a different reality, a reality where maintenance windows are convenient excuses for censorship, a reality where we have to read between the lines of every press release. The silence of the rovers lasted only 6 hours, but in those 6 hours, our understanding of the universe might have been confirmed, recorded, and then buried. They think they can hide the truth by hitting the delete button, but the truth has a way of resurfacing. It might take a year, it might take 10. Eventually, a whistleblower will speak. Eventually, a backup tape will be found. Eventually, someone will make a mistake. Until then, we watch, we listen, and we remember that on October 29th, the eyes of humanity blinked. And when they opened again, the world was different. Do not let them tell you it was a glitch. Machines don't fear the unknown. People do. And someone at NASA was very, very afraid of what was on those screens.